We are officially 1 week away from the start of the 2020 MLB season. At one point this year, I didn't think that would be a real sentence I would say. I didn't think we would have baseball, but we are so close I can almost taste it. I dropped my 10 dark horse candidates to win the MVP in 2020. Today we're doing something very, very similar, except this time we're talking about those pitchers, the 10 dark horse candidates to win the Cy Young in the 2020 season. 60-game season, you're probably only making about 10 or 11 starts at most this year, even including some relievers in today's video. If a guy gets hot at the right time, he might sneak himself into the Cy Young conversation and maybe even win the award. So as always, if you guys do enjoy this content, you like baseball, make sure to leave a like on the video. Great way to support the channel. If you have not yet subscribed, make sure you click that subscribe button, join the team. I'm uploading every single day during the season. We're not slowing down anytime soon. Remember to get in the comments down below. I want to hear what you guys have to say. This is a collaborative effort. Who do you think could be a dark horse candidate? Is there someone I'm giving too much credit to, or maybe I left off? And as always, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, second channel, links are in the description to all of those. Make sure you check them out if you want to support me there as well. So let's hop into my top 10 Cy Young candidates for the 2020 season. So for the first player in today's video that we're going to talk about, we're going to head out to Texas. They got a lot of pitchers out there, but we're going to focus specifically on Lance Lynn. Now, Lance Lynn casually had a really nice season last year. Really stepped up for the Texas Rangers and even finished 5th in Cy Young voting. The thing with Lance Lynn is, though, he's definitely not one of the favorites to win the Cy Young. I think people think it was a bit of a fluke, and while I might not be confident that he's able to replicate it, there is reason to believe that 2020 he could do it again. There were multiple 60-game stretches last year where he had an ERA below 3. That's really good, especially in a short season. You see a guy with the ERA starting with 2, he's gonna be in the conversation. Lynn strikes out a lot of batters, doesn't walk a lot of guys, gives up a few hits and homers here and there, but he does the thing that people like the most, and that's he gets strikeouts. 246 strikeouts last year in 208 innings. Lynn may not be the cool pick, he may not be the exciting pick, and honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if he falls off the face of the earth. He has done it before, but I think that there is reason to believe that Lance Lynn could maybe at least be in the Cy Young conversations again in the American League, therefore making him a little bit of a dark horse candidate. For the second dark horse Cy Young candidate for the 2020 season, let's talk about Arizona Diamondbacks pitcher Zack Gallen, New Jersey native, so I gotta give him some love. I'm incredibly high on this kid. I think he has got Cy Young potential for sure down the road, and in a short season, he might be able to sneak into that voting this year. Last year was his first season in the majors, and he made 15 starts split between the Miami Marlins and the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he pitched pretty well with both of these teams. For the overall season in his 15 starts, he had a 2.81 ERA in 80 innings pitched with a whip at 1.225, 10.8 strikeouts per 9, 4.1 walks, 7.0 hits, and 0.9 home runs. The thing that I love about Gallen is that he absolutely attacks the strike zone and gets a lot of swings and misses. His curveball is absolutely filthy, got a plus fastball. He's going into his 24, 25-year-old season, and I think that we're about to see Zack Gallen break out. You're going to start to know this guy's name. Also, he's got an amazing nickname, the Milkman. Get it? Because Gallen. Now, that has nothing to do with him being a Cy Young candidate, but the stuff that he has on the mound definitely does. And for me, I'm high on Zack Gallen. I'm riding the Zack Gallen train. I'm thinking that he could be a Cy Young candidate in 2020 for sure. Going to be a huge part of the Diamondbacks' success in 2020. If he's pitching well, Diamondbacks are playing well. For a third dark horse candidate, I want to talk about Sonny Gray of the Cincinnati Reds, who left the Bronx at the end of 2018, moved to Cincinnati last year, and finally started pitching like Sonny Gray again. Almost like he needed to use his slider, his best pitch, and then he'd be successful. Shout out to Larry Rothschild for screwing that one up. 2019 was a fantastic season for Sonny Gray, a 2.87 ERA in 175 innings pitched, striking out 205 batters, put up career highs in strikeouts per 9, career low in hits per 9, home runs per 9 were down. He was walking a few more guys, but overall, Sonny Gray was a significantly better pitcher last year than he was in 2018, and honestly, close to as good as he's ever been in his career, while also pitching in a pitcher's ballpark. I know, it doesn't make sense, but Sonny Gray was defying all odds last year. He finished 7th in the Cy Young voting in the National League. He's going to be the opening day starter, apparently, for the Cincinnati Reds. He's got really good stuff. It looks like he's finally comfortable. That slider is working for him. I fully believe Sonny Gray can have an awesome 60-game stretch this year. He's been a Cy Young favorite in the past. 2015, he finished 3rd in the Cy Young voting, and being a part of that strong pitching core in Cincinnati, I think is going to help him, especially with getting the driveline guy in there, being around Trevor Bauer. Something's clicking for Sonny Gray. Watch out for him in 2020. Now, for this fourth player, I even think he could be a dark horse MVP candidate, but I'm putting him in the Cy Young video, a little more realistic. Josh Hader of the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, how can a closer, how can a reliever win the Cy Young or even win the MVP like you were saying? Well, Josh Hader's just that good. The 3 seasons of Major League Baseball that he's played in, he has a 2.42 ERA and a whip at 0.850. If he plays in these 60 games, let's say he pitches 30 plus innings, because he can be a guy who goes multiple innings, he's got the nasty stuff, he might only give up maybe 1 or 2 runs if he's absolutely filthy. How do you not consider that guy for the Cy Young? That's incredible. That is such a huge impact. Being able to pitch those multiple innings and being so shut down is going to have immense value for the Brewers, especially considering their starting pitching is weak, and his numbers just jump off the page. Last year, he had a 16.4 K per 9, a 4.9 hit per 9, and a 2.4 walk per 9. Homers were a bit up at 1.8, which is a little interesting, but he struck out 138 guys in 75 2/3 innings. He is one of the nastiest pitchers in the league, and I fully expect him in a short season to be used a lot. The Brewers are going to depend on him And if he pitches nasty, like we know he can, there is a chance he could be the Cy Young, maybe even the MVP. It's crazy, I understand, but this is one where I got a feeling where Josh Hader might just mess around and win a Cy Young award this year. Dude, so gross. For the 5th player in today's video, at the halfway point, let's go to the AL Central, talk about Matt Boyd, who's on a losing team, but he has shown that he can be a pretty good pitcher. Now, his numbers are not going to jump off the page at you ever. He's had a ERA above 4 the last few years, but Matt Boyd has the peripherals, has the stuff to maybe become a Cy Young candidate. He might be the biggest stretch, but I could see it maybe, especially pitching in Detroit, that is, a pitcher's ballpark. So, like I said, his ERA, never been something to go crazy about. He had a 4.56 ERA in 2019, 4.39 in 2018, but last year he made a big step forward, striking out a lot more batters and limiting walks better. 11.6 strikeouts per 9 and 2.4 walks per 9, a career high and career low. Also was giving up less hits. The issue for him is that he gives up a lot of homers. He gave up 39 home runs last year. That is an American League worst. So the few guys that he does allow on base, they typically score because of the long ball. That can be scary, that can be frustrating, but he has the stuff, he's got the goods to maybe, if he puts it all together for a full season over a 10 or 11 start stretch, there's a chance Matt Boyd could be a Cy Young candidate for sure. He's that good, or at least has stuff that's that good. I mean, last year to start the season, the first 60 games, he made 13 starts, had a 3.01 ERA, and a whip at 1.02. Those numbers aren't unbelievably incredible, but again, if he can limit the homers more than he did last year, Matt Boyd's numbers will start to jump off the page. Keep an eye out for him in 2020. The number 6 spot, another guy who has a chance to maybe even win an MVP. Let's talk about Los Angeles Angels pitcher Shohei Otani. It feels like everyone forgot that he can pitch, and I'll admit, I've even once in a while forgot that he pitches. He hasn't thrown an inning in Major League Baseball since 2018, but based on what we saw that year, he has got the goods to be a problem for hitters in the American League. 2018 was the only time that we have numbers for him. He was pretty disgusting. He made 10 starts, 51 innings. That's pretty accurate to what we're probably going to see in 2020. He had a 3.31 ERA, a whip at 1.161, striking out 11 batters per 9, walking 3.8, giving up 6.6 hits, and 1 home run. Filthy fastball, absolutely flies out of his hands, got a great splitter. He's just a really good pitcher. It's always going to come down to health for him, so I don't necessarily know if the Angels baby him or if they just let him go full time, but if they do take the reins off him and they allow him to pitch and he's healthy for an entire season, he is good enough to win a Cy Young without a doubt. Combine that with his hitting, this is probably going to be a really good pick for MVP. So for me, Shohei Otani's got to be on the dark horse Cy Young candidate list if he's good enough to win an MVP. Keep it in the West, let's talk about San Diego Padres ace Chris Paddack. Now, Chris Paddack, I didn't think would be a dark horse candidate, but the betting odds say differently. Not a lot of people are putting their money on Chris Paddack. Now, I get with him, there are some injury issues as well. They shut him down kind of towards the end of the season because he's coming off some injuries. They want to make sure that he's healthy. But over a 60-game stretch, especially if the Padres are competing, Chris Paddack's going to be on the mound. The Sheriff's a gamer. 2019 season as a whole was pretty successful for Chris Paddack. 140 innings, 3.33 ERA, whip under 1. That's gross. Guy doesn't walk anybody or give up hits. Just gave up a few homers last year, but again, who cares? No one's on base. Really good stuff. Awesome fastball changeup combination. The dude clearly wants to be good. Started some stuff with Pete Alonso, but, and as much as I don't get it, it at least shows me that the guy's a competitor. He doesn't like losing. I mean, he was upset about losing the Player of the Month award. Does that make you a Cy Young winner automatically? No, but clearly the fire is there. He's got good enough stuff. Chris Paddack, the Sheriff, is really good, and I'm surprised he's not getting more Cy Young love because for me, that's a pretty good choice. Heading back now to the American League West, let's talk about a player who you forgot about because he got suspended to end the season, Frankie Montez of the Oakland A's. Now, Montez got suspended because of PEDs, and while that could be a little bit scary, and maybe that did influence his performance, we don't know yet, what he did in 2019 to start the year was pretty awesome. Montez made 16 starts in the 2019 season, pitched in 96 innings, which is a little bit over what you'd expect in a 60-game season this year, but his numbers were really good. 2.63 ERA, that's awesome. 1.115 whip, that's very, very good. Striking out 9 batters per innings, giving up 8 hits, only walking 2, under a home run per 9. Again, you have to keep in mind, these are dark horse candidates. These aren't the favorites, and when you're looking at a 60-game season, you gotta think of guys who could have a hot 10-game stretch, and for me, Frankie Montez can definitely be that guy. His numbers were good last year. We have to see what he does coming back off of a PED suspension that's definitely still up in the air, but that's why you'd consider him a dark horse. People might be doubting this guy. They might think that the PEDs were what helped him. He might come out this year, though, and completely prove everyone wrong and just start shoving. He's got really good stuff. 27 years old. He's still young. I believe in Frankie Montez. My roommate's big on Frankie Montez. Let's see him be a dark horse Cy Young candidate for the A's this year. Time for our penultimate, yeah, I'm using that word again, candidate to win the Cy Young in 2020, Philadelphia Phillies, Zack Wheeler. Yes, Philly fans, I can actually pick some of your players to do well. I am a believer in Zack Wheeler. I think he's Garrett Cole light. He's got really, really good stuff. And as a Mets fan, I've seen that there are stretches in baseball where he is unhittable. He is unbelievably good. There are also stretches where Zack Wheeler looks lost and doesn't look like he has anything left in the tank. So there's a chance that you get really, really good Zack Wheeler or really, really bad Zack Wheeler. For that reason, though, I think that's what makes him a perfect dark horse Cy Young candidate. Like, the first 60 games of last year, he was horrible. 4.68 ERA, giving up a lot of hits, giving up a lot of walks, still getting those strikeouts, but he wasn't successful. You then look at the last 60 games of the season season though with the Mets in 2019. He had a 2.83 ERA in 76 and a third innings pitched, 1.23 whip, struck out less batters in that 60-game stretch, but also walked more, gave up less runs, gave up less home runs. There is a time where Zack Wheeler will be a very, very good pitcher. Will it just be this 60-game stretch this year for the Phillies? That is the biggest question to me. He's got the stuff. He's finally looking healthy after 2 solid seasons with the Mets. Did the Phillies overpay for him? Maybe a little bit, but I think it's with good reason. He has a chance to be a very good pitcher. I like the idea from the Phillies here grabbing him. Definitely a dark horse Cy Young candidate in my eyes. Which leads us to our last and final dark horse candidate, and I got to admit, I missed this guy at first, but I was put onto him by my roommate, who's real big into pitching, loves the analytics, Julio Arias of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, as a person, he falls in the category of being a garbage person. He's done some bad things. But as a pitcher, this kid's talent is pretty ridiculous. Last year in 2019, made 37 appearances, pitching in 79 and 2/3 innings, coming off injury. This year, though, he is slated to be in that rotation. He's going to be a mainstay for the Dodgers. He's going to get some serious innings. Arias in 79 and 2/3 innings last year had a 2.49 ERA, striking out 85 batters, walking 27, and only giving up 59 hits. A K per 9 of 9.6, hit per 9 of 6.7, walks per 9 of 3.1, give him a whip at 1.079. He's going into his 23/24-year-old season, finally fully healthy. Not a lot of pressure on him to necessarily be the ace just yet because you got Kershaw and Buehler still ahead of him, and even honestly, the hype might beat around Dustin May even more. I think that this could be a really good scenario, the perfect storm for Julio Arias to surprise everyone and win a Cy Young in 2020. He's got a plus fastball, great breaking pitches. I mean, he's a good pitcher. The problem is with him is that you got to look past the personal issues and the health. If he can stay healthy on the field and off the field, Julio Arias has the chance to make a massive impact for the Dodgers in 2020, be a big X factor for them, finally break out. Kid's scary good. So those are my 10 guys, the 10 dark horse Cy Young candidates for this weird 60-game 2020 MLB season. I'd love to know what you guys think about it down in the comment section below. Who'd I leave off? Who shouldn't I have included? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions as always. Remember to leave a like on this video if you guys do enjoy it, as well as subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done so. Click that red sub button. We're uploading baseball content every day. If you haven't followed me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, all that stuff, I'll plug it again. Links in the description as always. Big thing though, 1 week away from baseball. It is so close. You smell that? It's the smell of fresh cut grass, dirt, baseball, the leather. I'm getting ready. I'm in the mood. I'm in the zone. Baseball's almost back. Thank you guys for watching. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video as well as this is my most recent upload. So click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you all tomorrow for another baseball video. You know we ain't slowing down. Bye.